Hola chicos, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos una vez más a mi canal. El día de hoy les traigo otro video, es la segunda parte del video sobre los sustantivos en español. Vamos a comenzar. Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to take a look at the second part of the video over nouns and gender. So let's begin with the review over the first part to make sure that you've got it down. Now, how do we say female cat in Spanish? Okay, let's check. La gata. La gata. Okay? How do we say male dentist? Alright? El dentista. El dentista. Okay? So what would we call 3 boys and 8 girls? Alright? 11 niños. 11 niños. Okay? Alright, now true or false? Nouns that are things, like a coche, change gender depending on the gender of the person using the thing. Okay? That's false. Remember, we change the gender of a noun if we're talking about an actual person, right? For example, we say el dentista for a male dentist and la dentista for a female dentist. Or la gata for a girl cat, el gato for a male cat. When we're talking about actual objects, the gender assigned to it will not change. So it's always going to be el coche. It doesn't matter who the car belongs to, who's driving the car, who's inside of the car. Alright, good job. You get those all right? I hope you did. Okay, so let's move on. So let's take a look at nouns that are always feminine. Now, this can be confusing because I talk so much about matching number and gender in Spanish, but these words are special words because they are always going to be in the feminine form. It doesn't matter if we're talking about a male or a female. So we have la persona, la víctima, la víctima, and la gente, la gente. Now, gente in Spanish is a singular noun and it will take a singular verb with it. We'll say la gente es. Unlike in English with people, we say people are good, people are smart. Alright, so the point here is la. Okay, la persona, la víctima, la gente. Okay, good. Now, let's look at some noun suffixes. Now, suffixes are just the ending that go onto a word, okay? So you can memorize prefixes and suffixes to help you learn words in groups. Now, these particular suffixes are always feminine in Spanish. So we have sion, hion, sion. So the first one was with an S. This one is with a C. Dad, tud, umbre, and ris. All of these suffixes will let us know that the noun is going to be a feminine noun. Okay. Now let's look at something that's interesting in Spanish. So we know that Spanish is a Latin-based language, and it also has influence from many other languages, including Greek. So words that end in ma, pa, and ta, the ones that are from Greek origin, are going to be masculine in Spanish. So let's take a look at a few examples. This isn't an exhaustive list, but it's just a list for you to get familiar with them. And again, study these lists in groups and it'll be so much easier for you. So let's start from the top. El problema, el problema, el clima, el clima. Now, clima in Spanish means different things, and it also depends on where you're from. Clima can mean climate, it can mean weather, and especially in Mexico, this word is used to describe the AC. Okay, next one, el programa, el programa, el tema, el tema, el cometa, el cometa, el emblema, el emblema, el enigma, el enigma, el planeta, el planeta, el mapa, el mapa, el idioma, el idioma, el fantasma, el fantasma. Okay, so this is an example of some words that are from Greek origin, and they're going to be masculine in their gender. All right, so let's move on. So let's look at some exceptions to the exception. So as I said, words that are of Greek origin that end in ma, pa, ta are going to be masculine. But not every single word in Spanish that ends in ma, pa, ta will be masculine. There are lots of words that will end in that ending that are going to be feminine. So let's look at a few examples. La forma, la cama, la grapa, la culpa, la dieta, la fruta. Alright, so as you see, we have lots of words that are exceptions to the exception. Now, let's go on to our next slide. Okay, so we have words in Spanish that are shortened versions of feminine nouns. So they look weird because they are nouns that end in O's and they carry a feminine definite article. So let's look at this. La disco is shortened for la discoteca. La foto is shortened for la fotografía. La moto is shortened for la motocicleta. La radio is shortened for la radiograma. And then sort of another word that doesn't quite fit into this group because it's actually not shortened for anything is la mano. La mano means hand. And remember, Spanish is a Latin-based language, and it tends to carry the same gender as the gender in the Latin language. So la mano comes from the word in Latin, manes, which was a fourth declension noun, and that's why it is feminine and ends in an O in Spanish. And it's the same way in Italian, for example, because all of these Romance languages are based off of Latin. So let's move on. So now let's look at some feminine nouns that have the article el instead of la. Starting from the top. El agua, el alma, el asma, el habla, el hada. So the reason that we have a masculine article instead of a feminine article has to do with the pronunciation. It makes it easier to pronounce because the stress of the word is at the beginning of the noun, right on the A's. So the masculine article is there instead of the feminine article. Now let's look at the rest of them. El sofá, el yoga, el gorila. So those also end in a and they carry a masculine article. And again, learn these words in groups and you won't have a problem with it. Okay, so we're going to use this as a stopping point, and then we're going to move into more exceptions and start talking more about masculine nouns. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has helped you out. Thanks for learning about nouns with me, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you back soon. We'll be back with part 3. Gracias por ver este video, espero que les haya gustado, y nos vemos pronto. Hasta luego.